Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bhyata Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittalaya Sada Bhutame Bho Rama Mudhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattalyam Rama Nama Varanane Sri Rama Nama Varanana Onnama Iti. You can recite these Maheshwar Sutrani. Ayan, Little Rook, Ayong, Ayouch, Ayavarat, Lan, Yamagananam, Javain, Gadadash, Jabagadadash, Kapha Cha 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 Tav, Kapai, Shashasar, Hal, Maheshwar Sutrani. Today I thought, sorry for a delay, we had a little bit of technical problems, but anyway, we are here now. So I thought today we start the Subanta Prakriya, how to decline, nouns and adjectives. Because what we are basically doing is we are following the order in Siddhanta Kaumudi and actually Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi and taking only the important rule which we need that we can use in the Bhagavad Gita. So that's what basically we're doing in this class. So with that in mind, the next topic after doing the Sandhi rules is the Subanta Prakaranam. Subbanta means those endings, 21 endings which we saw last time in Sutra number 412, which we introduced last time, the Su, Aujas, Amauchas, etc. That was 38 endings. Before we can apply those endings, so we need to do a little bit of groundwork, which is what we are going to do today. So let's take a look at that. So we'll put in the document the heading for today, which is Subanta Prakriya. Okay, Subanta Prakriya. So when you do the Santi, it becomes Subanta. Even though it is Subanta, it becomes Subanta Prakriya. Okay. Now the first thing we are going to do is, what we are trying to head towards is trying to derive the form, let's say, Dhritarashtra Vacha, Dhritarashtraha. How do we derive that form? That's what we are trying to get to. In order to do that, we have to introduce some definitions to be able to do that. Now, that's one thing also when you study Siddhanta Kaumudi or Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi, you should always keep an eye on what the next form being derived is. If you keep an eye on that, then you can see why Patriji is taking all the rules that he needs to take in between to get to that form. So that is what we are trying to get to. So we're trying to get to the form. Our objective first is to, now also I think I mentioned in the previous class, is the way that the order in which these words are taken in Siddhanta Kaumudi is that first there is the Pullinga Prakaranam, then you have Strilinga Prakaranam, Napumsakalinga Prakaranam. Within Pullinga, you have to go in the Maheshwar Sutrani order. So you'll have the masculine words ending in a, then long a, then masculine ending in e, ending in u, and so on. So you go in this Maheshwar Sutrani order. So when words ending in a will be taken first, e second, u third. And then, so you take all the vowel ending pratipadikams, then comes all the halanta pratipadikams, that is in the masculine, and the feminine the same thing, neutral same thing. So you have a total of 6 sections. So if you ever want to look it up, you can always quickly jump to that section, depending on what pratipadikam you have. It's what is the undeclined form. If you look at that, then you can quickly go to that section and find your answer. So it's called a Shadlingi Prakaranam. Shadlingi means that the 3 genders times the 2 vowel endings or consonant ending words. But the very first one, so therefore, which comes is in the Pullinga Prakaranam, you have the Akaranta Shabdaha. And also the most famous one happens to be Rama Shabdaha, which is also, Mangala Suchakaha. So mostly you get the Rama Shabda as the first word taken in the Shabdarupamala or in the Shabdamanjari or in the Siddhanta Kaumudi. Rama Shabda is the first. So we can also follow the same order. So in Gita, our first word is Dhritarashtra Vach, Dhritarashtraha. That's also the Rama Vashabda. So what we're trying to do right now is get to the word Ramaha, or same thing, Dhritarashtraha, which is the first word here. So that's what our objective is. Dhritarashtraha. Okay, so let's try to see what we need to get to that form. So the first thing we have to define what is called as Pratipadikam. What is called as Pratipadikam? Now, why do we need that? We need that because we can only bring these endings su, etc. after what is called as ni a Pratipadikat. Only if we have a word form ending in the ni, which is the feminine affix, or the a, like a word like nadi, or ap, a word like lata or sita, or a Pratipadikam. So we cannot bring any of the affixes to, etc., unless we first establish that we have a Pratipadikam. So that is why we need this definition of Pratipadikam. And it is only a definition. This comes in the first chapter of Ashtadhyayi. It says, Arthavad dhatur pratyaha Pratipadikam. So Arthavad adhatuhu apratyaha Pratipadikam. So any word form which is Arthavad, which has some meaning, it has to be a meaningful form. It should not be a verbal root, adhatuhu. It should also not be just an affix, apratyaha. It should also not be one ending in an affix also. So if we take a word like Rameshu, the Rameshu is Arthavad, which will not be Pratipadikam because it is a pratyayanta shabdaha. So that becomes Pratipadikam. So Arthavad dhatur pratyaha Pratipadikam. Now, the simple definition. Now, actually, just to back up a little bit, in this Vyakaranam, there are these 2 points of view, called Vyutpatti Pakshaha and Avyutpatti Pakshaha. Vyutpatti Pakshaha means that in the words are given, Avyutpatti Pakshaha means the words are given as it is. We don't have to look at, you don't have to always have a verbal root after which a word is defined and, look for the dhatu, look for the pratyaha and derive a form. If you just hear the form Ramaha, it has meaning on its own. It doesn't necessarily have to have the breakdown between the dhatu and the pratyaha or whatever to create. So that's called the avyutpatti pakshaha. So avyutpatti pakshaha, avyutpatti pakshaha. Vyutpatti means like etymology. Avyutpatti pakshaha. And Panini accepts both of them. Avyutpatti pakshaha simply means that we can have these pratipadikams which do not necessarily have a breakdown into the dhatu and pratyaha or tadita pratyaha, etc. So for that, this sutram is very important, because anything which is arthavat, as long as it is not a dhatu or pratyaha or one ending in a pratyaha, that becomes a pratipadikam. So by the definition alone, Rama is a Pratipadikam. Dhritarashtra is a Pratipadikam because it has meaning, and it is not just a dhatu and not just a pratyaha. It's not a pratyayanta either. So that is what actually pratyayanta. We'll hold off on that for a minute. We'll take the next sutram also to clarify that point. So far, let's take it as not a dhatu and not a pratyaha. So that is Pratipadikam. So an example I just gave from the Gita is Pandavaha is Pratipadikam, because that word has a meaningful form. It is not just a dhatu, not a pratyaya. Let's look at the next sutram also, which is the second form, Vyutpatti Pakshaha. Vyutpatti Pakshaha means that every word, every Pratipadikam has to have a dhatu behind it and has to have some kind of pratyaya added to it to make up the word. If you accept that point of view, then the sutram says Krit Tadhita Samasascha. Krit Tadhita Samasascha is anything that ends in a Krit Pratyaha or a Tadhita Pratyaha or which is a compound. That also is a Pratipadikam. So in Ramaha we can say Yasmin Ramante Janaha Saramaha. So that is one in whom people delight is Ramaha. So we can take the dhatu Ram, add the Pratyaya Ghani, and then make the Pratipadikam Ramaha. So then this one will say that even though it's Pratipadik, it is a Pratyayanta Shabda now. It is because we use the Pratyaya Ghani to make into the Rama. But so the prior sutra tells us that anything ending in a pratyaya should not be a pratipadikam. But this one says if the pratyaya is a krut pratyaya or tadita pratyaya, then still it is a pratipadikam. So the prior sutram told us that we could not have a word form ending into a pratyaya to become into pratipadikam. But this 1-45 tells us that if the pratyaya is a krut pratyaya or tadita pratyaya, then still we have a pratipadikam. So that's the vyutpatti pakshaha. You can use 1 to vyutpatti pakshaha. Vyutpatti pakshaha is the second form, which second point of view means that we have to be able to break this down into some verbal root with some affix to give us every pratipadikam, vyutpatti paksha. In our case, we can take dhatu ram, and then we can add the pratyaya, which we have not studied so far, so don't worry about the details. But we can add this pratyaya, which is really only an a, to remove the it letters by dashakvatidite harantyam, only a remains. We get the form ramaha. So even though this is pratyayantaha, it will qualify as pratipadikam because of this sutram, krit tadita samasascha. Becomes a pratipadikam. How about the word samasa? No, they're also interesting because we just said that anything arthavad can become a pratipadikam. Then why do we have to say samasascha again in this sutram? Because samasas, just by the fact that they have meaning, they should have become pratipadikams. So this is niyamartham. Niyamartham means that if there is a collection of words that have meaning, then only samasas will be pratipadikams, not others. Otherwise you can say, somebody could say, I'll take the whole sentence, Ramaha vanam gacchati, and make the whole thing into pratipadikam. It has meaning. It is not just a dhatu, not just a pratyaya. So the whole sentence will become a pratipadikam. But this one says no. If the shabda samuha is there, which is arthavan, then only samasa will be pratipadikams, not others. So in the collection, only samasa become pratipadikams, others don't. So by these two definitions, we have all we've done so far is established that the Rama Shabda, Rama qualifies as pratipadikam, either by the arthavada dhatu or pratyaya. If you want to take the avyutpatti pakshaha, don't have to go into the etymology. The meaning has, once you say Rama, you immediately know it is, the Shataputraha. The Shataputraha is already there, so we can take a look at it like there. Or we can say it has etymology behind it, and we can take the dhatu ram and make it into the Rama by the pratyaya, and that is krut pratyaya. So we can also make it a pratipadikam by that route. Rama Shabda is pretty straightforward because we know the dhatu is ram, and we can look at the pratyaya and make the word Rama. Some others are not as straightforward. There are many words which you may not know. Deriving the dhatu may not be that easy. So in any case, that 1-45 will help us out. As long as it has arthavad, and it's not just a dhatu or a pratyaya or pratyayanta, we can make into a pratipadikam. If it is pratyayanta, it has to be krut pratyaya or tadita pratyaya. Only these two are allowed. Now, just for the purpose of this class, the ones that we have not studied in this class so far is krut pratyayas. Where do they start from? Krut pratyayas occur from 3193 to the end of the third chapter. So this sutram there is the krud ating. So we just talked about krut pratyayas, and so at least we should know where krut pratyayas come from, where to where. So if any of these are used, they will immediately create a pratipadikam. So from 3193, in English we call them participles. So if we have any of these participles, then we have to decline them. So from 3193 to end of the third chapter, we will create pratipadikams. And then the tadita similarly starts from, those are called as secondary nouns, if you can call them, derived nouns. And they start from 4176, we start the thing called taditaha. So they will also create pratipadikam. Okay, so now so far all we had is that Rama is a pratipadikam. Now, again, why do we need that? Because the next sutram says, let me finish the examples over here. It says dharma kshetra is pratipadikam. Because it's a compound word, dharma kshetre kurukshetre. It's a compound, it's a samasaha. So that's what makes it into a pratipadikam. Then the other word which we took as example is mamaka pandavaschaiva. So mamaka also is a pratipadikam. since it's a term ending in a tadita affix. We have not studied that yet, but for those who are interested, there is a sutram in the fourth chapter, I think it's 433, which creates this word mamaka. From mama you get the word mamaka. So it is a tadita pratyaya. So mamaka. So this 433 is used to create the term mamaka. And since that is in the tadita prakaranam, this becomes a taditanta, and that makes it into a pratipadikam. So mamakaha, you can use, not going into details right now because we have not studied taditas yet, but just for your reference point, mamakaha, you can use the 433. The pratyaya is unpratyaya added here, so that's what makes it into a pratipadikam. Okay, so now, so that is the basics. So no matter what word you're declining, you're going to need these basic sutras. You have to first establish that it's a pratipadikam, either by arthvada dhatu pratyayaha or krit tadita samasascha. These are the two rules. Next comes niya pratipadikat. Why do we need this sutram? We need this sutram because in order to bring in the declension ending, su, just, etc., they are only allowed after these words, which is either those ending in the feminine affix ni, or the feminine affix ap, or the pratipadikam as it is, without any addition to it. The feminine, what happens is that if you had a word like nada, nada becomes nadi, then technically the pratipadikam will be nada. When you add the e to make it into feminine, make it nadi. Then to nadi you can add those declension ending like nadibhyam, nadibhe, and all that. So if you just say pratipadikam, then only nada will be there, but the e intervenes in between. So that is why Panini has to put in the ni ap pratipadikat. He has to put all three of them in this sutram. But since we're doing only masculine forms right now, the ni ap won't affect us right now because we're not going to have any. Those only come in the feminine. In the neutral and masculine, it's only pratipadikat. That is the only point. This is all that we need in the neutral and the masculine is pratipadikat. So only after these terms can we bring in the all, and this adhikara, this runs to the end of the 5th chapter. So it's a huge adhikara. Adhikara means it sets the topic. So it's a topic setting for the 4th and 5th chapter. So anything in the 4th and 5th chapter of Ashtadhyayi, all those affixes can only come after the pratipadikam, or in the feminine. If the pratipadikam has taken a ni or a pratyaya, then also they can come. Otherwise, nothing else. So all the 4th and 5th chapter is this is controlled by this sutram 411. This is like in computer programming, it's like a if-then statement. If it's a ni ending or ap ending or pratipadikam ending, then only apply the following sutra. Otherwise, don't. So that's what the vritti says. Adhikaroyam. This is adhikar. Adhikara means it doesn't prescribe any operation as such. All it does is sets the default topic for that section. That's as opposed to anuvritti. Anuvritti means the sutram does something, and a part of it goes down to following sutras. So that is anuvritti. Adhikara means it doesn't do anything on its own, but only sets the topic. So it says A Panchama Adhyaya Samaptehe. This is up to the end of the 5th chapter. This adhikara runs. Okay, so we needed that because we want to use 412. Basically, all this we are doing right now is to use 412. Those 21 endings, su, just, amount, chef, we need to apply those. To get to 412, we have to get past 411. In order to satisfy 411, we will define what pratipadikam is. So that's why we looked at these 3 sutras. Now the example here, we can take a simple example. Like actually I found one shloka in the Gita which has all 3 of these. Niyanta, apanta, and pratipadikanta, and pratipadikam also. So it says, I think this is the tamasi buddhi. It says, adharmam dharmamitiya manyate tamasa vrita sarvathan viparitanscha buddhissa partha tamasi. So let's look at that for a second. So this is 1832 in the Gita. Let me put that up. I don't know if I have that up. Okay. So that one has this word tamasi, which is ending in the affix ni, and avrita, which is ending in ap, and buddhi has no other ending, so it is just pratipadikam with no ni or ap to it. So we can see all 3 examples there. Ni ap pratipadikat. Ni A Pratipadikaat. Okay, so tamasi is this word, which is that actually it's tadita. Taditanta. Tadita also interesting term. Because see, when you say krut pratyayas, then we say krudanta form. So krut krudanta is a participle. Krudanta. So with the krut are the pratyayas and krudanta is the, so when you add, for example, if you take a word like bud, a dhatu like bud, and add the krut pratyaya tin, we get the krudanta form buddhi. But taditas normally they don't say taditanta. So tadita is a samanya sanya for the pratyaya and also for the pratipadikam which is created, So it's interesting term. So tadita, when you say, for example, when you say the word bhagavat, we say this is a tadita. Technically speaking, only that ending vatup is a tadita pratyaya. But the taditantas are basically also called taditas. We'll put that in a document maybe. The taditantas are also called taditas only. So I think it's just for short, So taditantas, taditanta, taditanta. Is also called tadita. So it's a bit confusing. But kudantas are called kudantas. Okay. So now let's see where we were. So in this shloka we have the word tamasi, which is in the long. This is in the ni anta. So that can take the ending su with this sapasa tamasi. In that verse, it is actually going to take the prathama ekavachanam, tamasi plus su. And of course, in the su, I think all of you know, by remove the it letters, upadeshajana nasika it, that u letter drops, only sa is left behind. Same thing, the word avrita is an adjective. That also has taken that long a, that top ending, the a ending, which is, one more thing I forgot to mention is that this ni and ap are actually have the sub-varieties. They have further classification. But when Pani says only ni, she includes the neep, niche, etc. So they will have further gradation within them. But all of them are qualified when he says ni. And then same thing when he says ap, there is a top, chop, so they also have further gradations in that. But they all will come together. I think there is a paribhasha for that, which is niranubandha grahane, sanubandhakasya cha. Niranubandha, when something without anubandha is indicated, it includes all the sub-varieties with specific anubandhas. So nir-anubandha, means without anubandha. So it says that the ni, it will include the neep, niche, etc. And the ap will include the top, chop, etc. So this is the Paninian style, is when he wants to group things together. There will be a commonality between them. And we're talking about pratyayas mostly. And then the others, they'll have specific it letters on them. So when neep is said, it includes the neep, niche, etc. So nir-anubandha grahane, sanubandhakasya grahanam. Okay. So this one is that one of those ni endings. Now where do these come, by the way? All these come in the fourth chapter of Ashtadhyayi. In the first padaha, there is a section called striyam. So if you have to use the word in the feminine gender, it has to pass through this routine. It has to pass through this routine. Then only it can be used. This 413. So interesting thing is that even this is coming under the niyab pratipadikat. So we see a pratipadikam will come here like a word like nada. It will pass through this routine. And then it will become nadi. Then again it will take the su out just endings by 412. That will be the steps. In the feminine, it's like a two-step process. It has to first go through this 413 up to about 418-ish. That will be the first pass in order to be used in the feminine. And then 412 will come and add the declension ending. And in this adhikara from Striyam adhikara from 413 to about 418-ish, that is where this ni and ap, etc., these endings come. So on top of that comes the declension ending. Actually, the 413 goes up to, I think, 81, 481. Okay, so the Tamasi word was formed in that section. Go list of sutras. Okay. So tamasi, and that to the ending su. Then upadesh ajananasika it, the u will be gone, only sa will be left. And actually that sa also drops by sutra number 6168, which you have not studied so far. But here we only showing the fact that this tamasi can take the declension endings because it is a niyanta shabda rupam. Now same thing with the word avrita as an adjective, as we said. The avrita is the pratipadikam. Into that you add the ending tap, the ap ending, and become avrita. That also can take the declension endings. And that one also actually drops by 6168. If you have not studied so far, but we will study that later on. So this is an example of a niyanta and apanta. That's only in the feminine do these come. Masculine and neuter, there's no ni and there's no ap, so we only have to look at the pratipadikam. Feminine also, you don't have to have ni or ap in the feminine. They may take ni or ap, because any word ending in the feminine has to go through this routine. Now, there may be no rule which is applicable to that. So in 413 onwards, because this is also an if-then statement. This 413 is an if-then statement. If triyam, then check this. Now, the word buddhi is to be used in the feminine, but no specific rule applies to it from 413 to 4181. So parivartanam na bhavati. There's no change. So striyam vishesha karyam nasti. So there is no special rule to apply. So buddhi was a pratipadikam. It is a pratipadikam, and therefore we first check the routine from 413 to 81. There is no change to it, and now we're going to apply 412 to get the form buddhi. So this is a feminine two-step process. So that may or may not create a change in the form. So that's our third example for the sutra. Nya pratipadikat is buddhi plus su. Buddhi is a pratipadikam, and it can take the affix su. And here, of course, we can complete the form because we can just do the upadesha ajjananasika it 132. The u drops sasajushoruho karvasanayor visajaniyaha. So buddhi. Okay, so that has now got us ready to apply these to when can we use 412. So far we have done that. Now there is one more thing which we need to do is that even though this 412 is going to tell us, see, all this groundwork is to only apply 412. And 412 is saying that these are the pratyas to be used, su, aujas, amod, etc. But the question comes where to put them. To put them before the pratipadikam or after the pratipadikam. How do we decide where to put them? It's not entirely obvious. So for that, Panini runs an adhikara called pratyaha parascha. This is the biggest adhikara in Ashtadhyayi. In the Ashtadhyayi, the Brihattama adhikara. Brihattama is the biggest adhikara. Dirghatama, what you can say. And what I say, Pratyaha 311. Adhikaroyam is also an adhikara. Doesn't do anything, no vidhi is being done, only the topics is being set. And Panchama adhyaya samaptehe, up to the end of the 5th adhyaya. So this also goes in the 5th adhyaya. So far we have seen what? We have seen Pratyaha goes to the 5th chapter. So does this next sutra, which is Parascha, also goes to the 5th chapter. So also the Niya Pratipadikat, that starts from 411, goes to the 5th chapter. And we also saw the Adhikara Tadhitaha. It also goes to the 5th chapter. So within Adhikaras we have Adhikaras. Nested. In fact, so what we have is Pratyaha Parascha from 311, 312. That runs to end of 5th chapter. Then from 411 starts Niya Pratipadikat. That goes to the end of the 5th chapter. From 4176 starts Tadhitaha. That goes to the end of 5th chapter. And actually there's one more inside there also. And there is one which is called Samasanta. That comes to the end of 5.4. That also goes in the 5th chapter. So we have these nested adhikaras. So inside adhikara we have another adhikaras going. But that, the top level one, that is the biggest adhikara in Ashtadhyayi, the Pratyaha Parascha. See, the Samasanta start from 5.468. Now, we don't need all of them right now. Only ones that we need right now is the Pratyaha Parascha Niya Pratipadika. So Pratyaha Parascha includes the 3rd chapter, 4th chapter, and the 5th chapter. The most of the third chapter is governed by the adhikar of dhatoho dhatoho. So the third chapter is reserved for mainly for the pratyaya which comes after dhatu. Now for pradipadikams, we have to, so third chapter is basically for verbs and participles, and the fourth and fifth chapter is for adjectives and nouns to create them. So that's how the division goes. So the dhatu adhikara stops when the 411 starts niya pradipadika. So that is why I said to you that this is the way Panini has organized the Ashtadhyayi. Is that in the first two chapters there are some definitions, etc., some compounds, and then some karakas. And the main, this is the heart of the Ashtadhyayi, chapter 3, 4, 5, where all the affixes are put in place in various meanings to create, various forms. And then after that is done, then you apply chapter 6, 7, 8. They in a way they finish up the form. They clean up the form. They do guna, they might do lopaha, they might do sampasaranam, they might do some substitutions, they might do some augments. That's all like dressing up the final form. So the main action in Ashtadhyayi takes place in chapter 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. So that is and right now we're looking at chapter 4 and 5 only because we are not talking about verbs right now. We're only doing this Subandha Prakriya. That's why we're in chapter 4. So let's keep that in mind. So now Pratyaha goes from 3, 1. Why do we need this sutram also? So all of you should ask, when you study Siddhanta Kaumudi, which is basically what we are doing. Let me tell you one more thing. I think I mentioned it before. Any grammar book you hold in your hand, whether you know it or not, is some version of Siddhanta Kaumudi. It is some version of Siddhanta Kaumudi. Unless it's Ashtadhyayi order, which are very rare. But almost any grammar book that you have is basically Siddhanta Kaumudi. It may be a part of Siddhanta Kaumudi. It might be in different order. It might be in different explanations. But that is the home base. So that's why, and what we are doing here, as I said to you, we are taking a smaller version of that, which is Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi for the main part. And within that, we are taking those rules which we need for the Bhagavad Gita. That gives us a very good starting point, very good starting point to cover everything. So, and in Siddhanta Kaumudi, he is deriving of the Siddhanta means he derives the forms, all the various forms. So when he wants to derive Ramaha Shabdaha, he means who is he? He is Bhattoji Dikshitaha. He was, probably the greatest grammarian of our time. He reordered the Ashtadhyayi in order to derive the correct forms. Because if you tell somebody to study the whole Ashtadhyayi and then come to class, and then I derive forms from it, it's not going to work. Because otherwise, if you Ashtadhyayi to study all 4,000 rules before you can apply any one of them. Because something else might be overruling it. Something else might be an exception, etc. So that becomes unrealistic for many people. So then what you do is that, okay, then Bhattoji Dikshita said, okay, I'll give you these rules. You can apply them right now. Because I've checked all the others, and they don't apply to your case. Don't worry, you can start applying these. This is basically what we are doing also. So then he said, okay, I'm going to derive for you Ramaha, Ramo, Ramaha. So you only need these rules to get to that point. So and then you should ask, why is he taking these rules? What is required in that form? So why is this rule Pratyaha required? Because the following sutram says Parashcha. That these pratyas come after the term to which they are prescribed. And the one that we want, our vision right now is in that 412. That's the one we need. We need the pratyaya su from that. We need to apply that. In order to apply that, we need to know that it's a pratyaya first. Why? Because pratyas come paraha. They come afterwards. They come after the form. So this adhikara we have to look at, the 311. Again, this is not only for declension of nouns and adjectives. It will also be used. The same adhikara will be used in dhatus also. When you have to apply pratyas after dhatus, you have to come to the same adhikara. Okay, adhikaroyam apanchama adhyaya samapte. So this sets the topic for the section from 311 to in the 5th chapter. We already talked about that. So all the terms introduced in this section are by default pratyaha. They call pratyaha. So anything which is introduced in any other chapter, particularly chapters 6, 7, and 8, they will not be pratyayas. But occasionally, there might be something introduced in even is 3, 4, 5, which may not be a pratyaya. Let me repeat that one more time. Pratyayas only come in chapter 3, 4, 5. They only come in chapters 3, 4, 5. And for the most part, that's all that comes in chapter 3, 4, 5. So barring a few exceptions, where sometimes in order to use the anuvrittis, Panini may put an agamaha in chapter 3, chapter 5 or something, very, very few of them. But pratyayas only come in chapter 3, 4, 5. So anything which is in 6, 7, 8 will not be a pratyaya, or 1 or 2 also. So example in Gita is again straightforward. You can use the same Dharashtra plus Su. Since Su is prescribed by 412, which is in the Adhikara pratyaya, it will be called a pratyaya. This sutra says parascha. Parascha means that all these pratyayas, as a default, and this is only default, they will come after the term to which they are prescribed, not before, not in between, pratyaya parascha. See, this is one thing good is that you might think these sutras are kind of childish, we don't need them. That's good, but on the other hand, you can say, well, these sutras, I got the meaning of that now. So, even though they are easy, they are kind of straightforward, but it's good to understand them clearly, good to make them your own. So at least a few sutras, no matter how easy they are, you should take ownership of them and make them your own, because that increases removes the fear of Ashtadhyayi. Most cases, it's really Vyakaranam is really Vyakarana Bhaya Nivaranam. Remove the fear of the Ashtadhyayi. And the more sutras you take, you understand them well. That will increase so Vishwasa Vardhate. Your confidence goes up, that it helps you. So you might say these are kind of unimportant, which they are unimportant in the way because they're kind of intuitively obvious. So, but good to know where Pani says them, and you can understand them and keep them, get some, the Ashtadhyayi geography, the topography of Ashtadhyayi in your mind. Okay, so 312 is also a adhikara, goes to the end of the 5th chapter, and whenever pratyaya is to be used, it will come paraha. It will come after the term to which is prescribed. We say niya pratipadikat, so after that will come the pratyaya. So same example, the Dharashtra plus Su. So pratyaya will come after the pratipadikam. Now, okay, so far we have established that this Rama, the Dharashtra is a pratipadikam. And now we want to express the declension of that, which is according to the will of the speaker. The speaker wants the Dharashtra uvacha. So he wants to make the Dharashtra as a subject of the sentence. Subject of the sentence. Now this idea is a little bit foreign to English or the languages, so it is a little bit difficult because most people know what Rama means, but they may not know what Ramena means, what Ramat means, what Rameshu means, Ramayoho, what does it mean? So that's what makes it difficult, this language difficult for the beginner. Firstly, this Chandi Vichcheda itself is a challenge, different from English, because there you have space, 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 so this Chandi Vichcheda generally is not there. So that's what we did first. Second thing is that, the vibhaktis they might become obvious many of the time. So you might use prepositions. So you may not use like I saw him, this was done by him, I gave this to him. So it may not be, you may not have to look at the declension endings. And why do we have them in this language? The power of this language is that once you put these declension endings, you can use these, and that word can be placed anywhere. It will still have the same meaning. And you don't have to keep on using those prepositions all the time over and over again and cluttering up the whole text. So that creates a powerful mechanism particularly to form, shlokas and kavyas, because, not kavyas, I should say shlokas, in meters. Because this whole parampara is a vak parampara. So for that you need the meters. Now to use the meters, if you do like English, you will not be able to form any of these like Bhagavad Gita like kind of formations or Vedas, because you'll be severely constrained all the time. So to remove that constraint, you need these subanta endings. So then you can say, You can say Vali hataha Ramena, Ramena Vali hataha. So it can put anywhere. You can jumble the words, put them here, put them there, without disturbing their meaning, which you cannot do if you don't have these endings. So it looks like a bit of a headache for us, but this is really essential for the way the language is to be transmitted, which is basically through meters. Okay, so we established that this Rama Dhritarashtra is a pratyaya. Is a pratipadikam. And we want to use this 412, depending on what the vivaksha of the vaktur vivaksha ka asti. What's his intention? He wants to make Dhritarashtra as a subject of the sentence, Dhritarashtra vacha. So now we need to know which one of these 21 can we use. Which one should we use? Now, one thing which we have not studied is what is the meaning of these cases. You have 7 cases, what are called vibhaktis. Prathama, Dvitiya, Titiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti, Saptami. So now, I think most of you might know the basic meanings, and we'll study that in detail. That's a different prakaranam called Karaka Prakaranam. So Karaka Prakaranam means that tells you in what meaning can we use a certain vibhakti. So very simply speaking, the first one is he's the subject of the sentence. The second set is the object. The third is mostly the instrument. Could also be the hetu, could be the cause. This is very roughly speaking, because right now we're not looking that in detail. We're deriving the form. Assuming you have Prathama Vibhakti, then we derive the forms. The Chaturthi is for the sake of, unto that, for the benefit of. The Panchami is generally from that, than that, maybe due to that. This kind of meaning. The Shashti will be, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong sutram here. This is the one that you want. The Shashti is possession generally, of that, belonging to that, or some relation to that. And the Saptami is in the location of the action, in that, on that, based on that. So these are the rough meanings. So if you want to make Dhritarashtra as a speaker, we have to use Prathama Vibhakti and use a singular form. Now, among these 21, where is that? How do we know that? So that is what the next sutram does, is the sutram Supaha. Supaha. Anurvritti of that is coming. Let's look at the sutram Supaha. And that is telling us that these Supas Trini, they are in groups of 3. Trini, Vachanani, Ekashaha, and within one by one set, they are Ekavachana, Dvivachana, Bahuvachana, Sanyani, Siho. So within each set we have a singular, dual, and a plural form. So now we know that these are 7 vibhaktis are there, sets of 3, and within each one we have a singular, dual, and plural form. So now if you're looking to do the Prathama Ekavachanam, which is he's the doer of the action, and he is singular, then we have to use the very first one, which is Su. So that is what so let's look at this one. How do we look at the sutram? The sutram just says Supaha. How do we get all this meaning from the word, from only Supaha? Anuvritti. Let's look at 14103 quickly. You will see the Anuvritti coming down for 14103. 14103 is here it is, 14103. Okay. See, what has happened was that the prior 2 rules was talking about the Tingantas. Tingantas also, which we have listed here, the Tiptasji, Siptastha, that. So these are also 3 by 3, and this is 3, 3, 3. There are 6 of them. So there are 18 of these. So that was the prior sutram in the Ashtadhyayi. It is the Tingas Trini, Prathama Madhyama Uttamaha. There you have the first person, second person, or rather the third person, second person, first person. That's in the Tingantas, in the Ting Pratyaya, I should say. And 14102 says Tani Ekavachana, Dvivachana, Bahuvachanani, and Vachananya Ekashaha. So they also have a singular, dual, plural. And then Supaha. The Sups are also organized in the same way. Okay. Now, that's how the small sutram Supaha gives a big meaning. because the prior two rules, anurvrittis was coming down into this 14103, into supaha. So the other thing is the specialty of this language is the dual form. We don't have dual forms. In English we can say I and we. We can be two, they can be many. Or you can say he and then them. Them can be two or many. But here we have the dual forms. Less commonly used, but it is still available. So the two is special, and then comes three or more is bahuvachanam. Okay, so let's go back to so now we know that we have to take the su ending. If we want to look at the prathama ekavachanam, this should be su. So after all that, finally now we get to apply this sutra which you're looking at is the so example I already mentioned, Dhritarashtra plus su is the first set, prathama vibhakti, and singular dual plural, and then we want to use the singular form right now. So let's finish off that form. So I think we can do that one. So using that 1-4, so we have to use all the sutta which we did today up to 14103, and then finally use 412, and we can get the Dhritarashtra, or we can say Rama plus su. This should always be the first step. If you want to do any nominative singular form, no matter what the pradipadikam is, the first step is always Rama plus su. The pradipadikam plus su. Pradipadikam plus su. So after that, the su might drop, it might change, there might be some changes, but this is always the first step. For any prathama ekavachanam, always the first step is pradipadikam plus su. In this case, we already know the rules to apply. We apply, so let me put the number here. We put 412, so just a mode, etc. And then after that, we have to just do the Upadesh Arjuna Nasika It, and then the usual Sasaju Shoruhu. So if you do those two steps, we get Rama plus Sa by the Upadesh Arjuna Nasika It, which is 132, and then we can do Sasaju Shoruhu, which is 8266. Then Karavasanayo Visajaniyaha. So this will become Rama plus Ru. Actually, there also we have to do again the Upadesha Jana Nasika It, and finally we can do the Karavasanayo Visajaniyaha. So maybe I'll do 8266 over here. And the last two we can kind of take, and again we'll have to apply 132 and Karavasanayo Visajaniyaha, make it Ramaha. So Ramaha. That over here. So there's nothing more. And of course, in Gita, there are many examples of this. If you scan through Gita, you will find many examples of this Rama Shabda in Prathama Ekavachanam. But you have to be careful that every word which ends in Visarga, preceded by short A, will not necessarily be only like Ramavat Shabda, because we don't know what the Pradipadikam is. Okay, we'll take some examples. So let's do the 132 again. And I think the Karavasana Yol Visajaniyaha, I think it's probably 8315. We check that. So let's take a few examples in Gita where we can, if you look at a word like Jagataha, for example. Now this also may be like Ramaha, but actually it is not, because the Pradipadikam is Jagat, not Jagata. So what you can do is that if you think you have found a word like Ramaha, you can check it in a dictionary and see if you can find that word in the dictionary. If you can, then probably you have found one. At least you should be able to say now, with 100% confidence, that this could be like Rama Shabda. That much you should have now, 100% confidence. You see a word like Dhritarashtra in the Padachedaha. This could be Prathama Ekavachanam Dhritarashtra, which happens to be correct in that case. If you see a word like Jagataha, you can still say this could be a Prathama Ekavachanam of Jagata, but there is no word like Jagata. There is only a word like Jagat. So that's what fails in that. So from now on to the rest of your life, you should be able to say with 100% confidence that This could be a Prathama Ekvachanam of a Ramavat Shabdaha, or this cannot be. When you say a word like Buddhi, it cannot be Ramavat Shabdaha, because there's a E preceding the Visargaha. There also, this is what I mean, even if your knowledge is very small, if it is Nishchitam Jnanam, Asandigdham Jnanam, when you can take that and take big steps with that. Because now if we see a word like Buddhi, see a word like Tamasi, or Avrita, or Uvacha, whatever, you should be able to say, this is not Prathama Ekvachanam of Rama Shabdaha. That I know for 100%. I don't know what this is, but I do know one thing 100% sure. This cannot be the Prathama Ekvachanam of Rama Shabdaha, because I know it's the Rama. So now you can go to the Gita and find out, if we can do some practice. Okay, so numbers are correct here. We got the 8, 3, 15, and Rama we got. Let's go to Gita. The exam that I told you about Jagata, I think is the 7th chapter. Let's go to that for 1 second. Aham Krishna se Jagataha Prabhavas Pralayasthatha Mattah Prataram Nadi. I think that is the beginning of the 7th chapter. So, maybe like our 5th shloka. So all I'm trying to tell you is that maybe like 6th or so. Oh, here it is. So this is the 6th shloka of 7th chapter. It has the word Jagataha. Now, this looks like it may be like Ramaha. It could be. It's a possibility. But there was a possibility, this being a Prathama Ekvachanam of Jagata Pratipadikam. But it turns out it is not so, because it is, the Pratipadikam is Jagat, not Jagata. So this is actually the Shashti Ekvachanam of Jagat. So the next one right here is Prabhavaha. This actually is Ramavat. So this Prabhavaha is the Prathama Ekvachanam of the word Prabhava. Now, this word Krishnasya could not be like Rama, because it's not like, it doesn't have a Visarga ending form. This could not be. So you can now go through Gita and tag all those words, which are possibly only the Prathama Ekvachanam of Ramavat Pratipadikam. Ramavat means smart, Akaranta Pullinga Pratipadikam. You can tag them all. And then, if possible, go to dictionary and see if you can find the word Prabhava. You'll be able to find it there. Same thing, Pralaya also you can find. The Pralaya is also the Pratipadikam. This is also like Ramavat Pratipadikam. But Jagataha is not. If you try to find the word Jagata, you will not find it. You only find the word Jagat. So that's what you can start doing when you take this as homework. Now, what I'd like to do for today is finish up sutras only by taking the next form, the dual form. The dual form, again, you have to go through all these steps. Establish the fact that Rama is a Pratipadikam, either through the Arthavad Dhatu Pratyaha or Kruttadita Samasascha, Pratipadika Sanya. And then you can go to Niya Pratipadikat 411. So we want to use 412. So we have established that Rama is a Pratipadikam. We can then use 412. You can also bring in the 311, 312, Pratyaha Parascha. So the Su, etc. are Pratyayas, and they are going to come after the Pratipadikam. Then the Sutram Supaha. We say that these sups are in sets of 3 by 3, and within that there is a Ekvachana Bahuvachana, Dvivachana Bahuvachanam. So then we get the Pratyaya Au. So these are going to be common steps for all, any Pratipadikam, any Subanta form. So this what we did today, we don't have to do every time now. From now on, we'll only start with Rama plus Au. From next class onwards, we don't have to do all this thing about the Arthavada Dhatu Pratyaha, Kruttadita Samasascha, Niya Pratipadikat, Pratyaha, Parascha, Supaha. They're all common for any Pratipadikam. So we'll only start from this Rama plus Au. Now the dual forms. This is the Prathama Vibhakti Dvivachanam. So Prathama Vibhakti. Prathama Vibhakti. So here now you can start applying some of the rules that you already know. This is the dual form, Dvivachanam. Dvivachanam. Okay. Now what sutra do we know already here? Vriddhirechi. should become Ramo. That will actually give us the correct form, Ramo. So this also, I think I mentioned it before, is that when do you stop applying the rules? This rule is like a computer program. It's 4,000 lines. So it's going to keep on running till the end of the routine. And it's going to keep on doing operations. It doesn't know when the right form or the wrong form is. It only knows that these are the steps, these are instructions which are there in the program. So just because you got the right form by one particular rule doesn't mean that no other rule applies. It may be that no other rule applies, you have the right form. But it may be that some other rules were applying, and maybe they were stopped by something else, maybe. So this is a case like that. So real, we can use our rules we already learned before, the Vriddhi Rechi, and will give us the right form. Puraprayoha ekadesha, and you can read from Vriddhi Radich, the closest substitute is the au, so we can get Ramau. Sthanyantaratamaha, Ramau. Sthanyantaratamaha, Ramau. Okay, but what has happened here is that there are two more rules which come into play. One which comes and another one blocks that. Now let's look at those, and that's for this class. Will be the last two rules. Prathamayoho pura savarnaha. This is also in the pura ekaha pura parayoha adhikaraha. What is this saying? Akaha. Prathama dvitiya yor achi. If you have an ak letter, ak means what? Ayun rulruk. So a I u rulru. Followed by an ach which belongs to the prathama or dvitiya vibhakti. So which means what? Su au jas, out shas. These 6. So within that, which ones are beginning with ach? Let's start with that. So right now we have the in these prathama dvitiya means these 6 over here. Su au jas, out shas. Now when you remove the anubandhas, the su is clearly a sakara. It cannot begin with an ach. The au is one of them. The jas also we're going to get by the chutu. The j is an it. So that is the second one, because that really anubandha lope us. You remove the anubandhas, only us is left behind. So we have, so far we have au, we have us, then we have the third one, the fourth one which is out, and the fifth one which is the shas, because they're also lashakwatadite, the talavya sha is a marker. So these 5. So one of these 5 is following. Then what is, and if ak is preceding, then what this sutram says is that pura parayoho, between the ak and that ach, there is a ekadesha of the purva savarnaha. So the savarna of the ak will be the ekadesha. So akaha prathama dvitiya yorachi purva savarna dirgha ekadesha syat. So that is what this is saying. Now we don't want that, because if we do that for Rama Shabda, we'll get Rama plus au. So here, let's go to our document. If we do this for Rama plus au, we will start having, we have Ram plus a, that is the Rama, plus we have au. So what we would have had was that between these two, we would have had the ekadesha, the purva savarnaha. We would have had a long a as the ekadesha. They got the wrong form as the Rama would have been the wrong form. So this would have, so using six one 102, we would get the wrong form. Would get the incorrect form. So now we need something to help us out to stop 61102. That's what we're looking for now. We need something to stop 61102. So otherwise, anishtam rupam syat. You get the wrong form, incorrect form. So Rama would have been the wrong form. Okay, but then why do we even need this rule 61102? It's going to be stopped like that. Because if you take a pradipatikam like Hari, then in there we will need this rule, because when we take Hari plus If you had Pradipati like Hari or Guru, if we take Hari plus Au, then in that case, we definitely do need this sutram. Because Hari plus Au, what we would have had? You would have had Iko and Achi coming there, become Haryau, the wrong form. We want to form Hari as the dual form. So there, we want to use this, so Har plus E plus Au. So there we want to make the Pura Parayoho, Purva Savan Dirgha Ekadesha. So we want to get Hari. So there it gives the right form. So we want some rule now, which will, so we're applying 61102. So we want something which will stop this from happening in Rama Shabdaha, but not in Hari Shabdaha. That's what we're looking for now. We want some rule which will stop 61102 for Rama Shabdaha, but not for Hari Shabdaha. Hari Shabdaha, it works fine. It gives us the correct form, Hari. But that's the last one for today, which is the Nad Ichi. Na Ad Ichi. No, you see this right below this one. 102 was the Vidhi, and this is a Nishedha happening below that. So Na Ad Ichi. So Ad is the Panchami Vibhakti of A. So Ad means Avarnantad. If you have Avarnanta Pratipadikam, so, and the Vibhakti is if you have that, the Prathama Dvitiya Vibhakti is beginning with an Ich letter. What is Ich? E-U, up all the way up to, so it's Ich equals Ach minus A. Ach minus A equals Ich. So in 61104, so that's how we see that Panini has skillfully left the words like Guru and Hari in there. But actually the Nad, this Nad is the one we said if it's Avarnanta Pradipadikam, then you cannot use this prior rule. But only for Ichi Pare. So let's look at this one in detail. So let's see. So Nad Ichi 61104. So in 61104 we require the following. So 61104 requires a Pratipadikam, which is ending in a, which you can say Prakriti. Prakriti is the base, we don't say Prakriti, which is ending in a Avarna. So ending in long or short A. Ending in long or short A. And it requires a Prathama Dvitiya, ending with the Ich, beginning with the Ich letter. So with Ich Adi, it requires the Ich Adi, Ich Adi, we can say a first or second case, a affix beginning with Ich. And these, as I mentioned, and you can see from the Mach Sutrani that Ich is equal to Ach minus A. So that's what we have. So let's see in Rama what we have. Do we have all this satisfied? We do have that because Rama ends in the Avarna, short A. Vibhakti is Au. Now Au is a vowel which is not A. So that Au is an Ich letter. So 61104 conditions are satisfied. So that is how 61102 is stopped. The Prathamayoho Purva Savarnaha is, Tasya Nishedha, that is stopped. And then after that we can go back to Vriddhi Rechi and make it into Rama. So these two rules came. 61102 is going to come all the time, which the moment you have the Prathama Ditya Vibhakti and you have an Ak ending, Ak letter followed by one of those five, the Au, Jas, Out, Shas, then you can get the Purva Samana Dirgha as the Ekadesha. Always keep the sutra in mind. So besides what the rules we have, so far what we learned before, what all this Samana Sandhi Niyamaha, they didn't say anything about a Vibhakti or anything about anything else. So rules like Vriddhi Rechi, Adgunaha, Ikunachi, they apply their Varna Niyamaha. So Varnashra is a Karyam. So they depend only on the letter being there and they just apply. Now we get into specific rule because the 61102 is only for a Ak letter followed by only a Prathama Ditya Vibhakti beginning with beginning with a ach letter. So then only for that this one applies. But in the case of Ramaha, 61104 came and stopped that and went back to Vriddhi Rechi. So I think we'll stop with that. Next time we'll try to finish this Rama Shabdaha because it's the most common Shabdaha. In the meanwhile, in the Gita, you can find examples of these two now. Find a word like Ramau, find a word like Ramaha. You can tag them all as being possible applications of these rules, and see which all you can find. I think again one example here, which was the Mahatis Chandane Sthitau in chapter 1, shloka 14. Shankam dadnu pratapavadata shankascha bhejascha pranavanak gomukhaha सहसैवाभ्यहन्यन्त सशब्दस्तमुलो भवत ततश्वेते धयैर्युक्ते महति चन्दने स्थितौ माधवः पाण्डवश्चैव. So Lord Krishna and Arjuna sitting in the big chariot, Shvete Dhayaryukte, which was yoked with white horses. So the two of them, Sthitau, so Sthita plus Au. So here again, you should in your mind you should recite these three sutras, which is Vriddhirechi, Pratamayo Purva Savaranaha, Nadichiti Nishedaha. Go back to Vriddhirechi and we can get the form Sthitau. So from next time we'll only start. So we laid the groundwork today for the Subandha Prakriya. We got the definition of Prajapadikam. We said where Pratyaya is coming, they go Parascha, and then the 412 how it is split up into the sets of three each with Prathama, the Ekavachan, Dvivachan, Bahuvachanam. Depending on the Vivaksha, we have to bring in the right Pratyaya, and then you have derived the form. So from next time onwards, we'll start from the Rama plus Jas, which is the Prathama Bahuvachanam. We start from there. Actually, for some practice today, I got a pleasant surprise. Actually, Sudhir is not in the class today, okay, because he sent me a file. See, Sudhir has made a file of the entire first and second adhyaya of the Bhagavad Gita. I was very impressed by that, because he has done the homework for the first two chapters of the Gita, and he has given all the rules which are done so far. Very impressive. Unfortunately, I think he's not here today. So I was thinking of what we should do for future students is that we should have a Gita document like this, giving, for example, for the Sandhi rules, we have this document now. It only has the first two chapters, but we can expand that, we can correct it, and hopefully we can refine it and make it more elegant, But this is a great start what Sudhir has done, and hopefully we like to leave this behind for the future students. So they'll have the answer key for the entire Bhagavad Gita. So when you do Sandhi Prakaranam, we'll give them the entire Gita document with all the rules applied for that. That way we have to make sure that we have covered all the rules required to explain all the Padanta Sandhis in the Gita. All the Gita Padanta Sandhis. Because I know that many books are available, which, for example, I think Sanskrit Bharati has done a book recently where they give all the Padacheda of the Gita and all that. But they don't give sutras. It probably become too long, which is too long for you to print. A lot of repetition is there. Of course, there's a book by, I think ISKCON also has done a book like that, the Winthrop Sargent. So the many books are available with Padacheda, Padanvaya, everything is available. Even Vibhaktis are available. And, declension and conjugations. But they don't tell you Pani Sutras for that. That hopefully we can do, is we can take topic by topic and create a Gita document, which for that topic gives all the sutras in the Gita that are required. When you do Rama Shabda, for example, we can go through Gita and create a document for that, for Subandha Prakaranam. So you can practice. When we do Tingandha Prakaranam, we can do the same thing. Today we can do the same thing. This will be a great seva that we can do for the future students. It will be very, very, very useful, because I think Gita is, not very difficult. People chant the Gita all the time, and they can, if those who want, at least can practice, So the rest of the class, we have about 20 minutes left. Again, sorry for the delay today. We started like 4 minutes late. We had some technical problems. But I was thinking of maybe we can edit this document and and find any mistakes, and correct them. Also, what I would suggest to you, if you want to volunteer, if not a whole chapter, at least you can take some shlokas, maybe like 5 shlokas, 10, at least 2, 3, and do what he has done and give it to him. So then he can add it to this document. Hopefully we'll do all 18 chapters like this. This itself is a wonderful step. all the Sandhi rules required for Gita, we have all for all the 18 chapters. It will be very nice to have that. And then we can edit that. So if you can volunteer to either edit this or add slokas of your own, that will also be nice. And we can do the same thing for the Ramayana also. If you want to do that, you can do that also. See, once we create one for the Gita, then making it for the other Granthas also will be easy, because it will be copy-paste. Most of it can be copy-pasted to the other ones also. That will also be very useful. And then once we have that, we can actually also cross-reference the Ashtadhyayi to Gita shlokas. So once we have this done, then we can have the Ashtadhyayi Patha, and there we can tag each sutram according to which Gita shloka it comes to. It's also very useful. Once you learn a sutram, you go to the shloka and you can have the application right there for you to apply. So the rest of this class, let's start editing this. Again, Sudhir is not here in the class today, but hopefully listen to the class, and we can make the corrections here. So let's see, who wants to volunteer? All you have to do now is take this, what is given here. If you find something wrong, just correct it, and we will, because the only way to make things error-free is to have many editors and many users, because there are some very, very good books, but still there's always one mistake or two mistakes, because I spent a lot of time trying to find good books, and still I found some good ones, very good ones, but always there'll be one or two mistakes here and there. So if we have many people editing, hopefully we'll be able to catch most of them. So let's start this one from today. Let's see how far we can go. We're only looking for errors or typos, or of course suggestions also are welcome. Let me call on Vasu. Anybody can volunteer? Anyone wants to volunteer? Take one shloka and give me the errors, or at least say it is called correct. I know Karthik will know that. Vasu is our editor-in-chief. Who else is there? How about Nagaraj? Let's see if let me see. Prasanna can try. I'm sure she knows also. Very good.
No,
Prasanna?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can try this one. Okay.
This sutra.
You can read this. Dhritarashtra Vacha Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha Mamakaः Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. Okay, shloka is okay. Any objections? Raise your hand. Okay, any objection? Raise your hand.
No, I think
I don't see any typos so far.
No.
Dhritarashtras Vacha Dhritarashtra Ru Vacha Sasajushoruhu.
Yeah, that's right.
So far okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Dhritarashtrai Vacha Bho Bhagavo Purvasya Yoshi.
8317.
Yeah, so is that okay? The one thing that I question I have in mind is that is the entire Ru becoming Ya, only Ra becoming Ya? What is it? Because do we need to apply the Upadesha Jananasika it first?
I think we did when we were going through the exercises. We first removed that Rukara, that Upadesha Anunasika it. We applied that one, and then we applied that one.
Okay, let us see what the vritti says. Okay, see what the vritti says. Let's go to the vritti. Let's double check that. So this one is Bho Bhagavo Purvasya Yoshi. Okay, let us see. I think what is in the document, in the beginning of the document, he has given all the sutras also there.
Yes,
they're all coming here. The numbers are all here. I think they're there was Sutra Suchi somewhere.
10. The number is 10.
Yeah, then but he's also given them all here.
Yeah.
So
he gave here also. Okay.
Yeah, he has in the document. He's also given the numbers, all of them. So it's 8317.
Yeah, 8317.
So let's go to 8317 and see what the vritti says. Is the adesha for the entire Ru, or is it only for the Ra? Let's see, 8317. Always check the vritti. Always check the vritti. Any sutra you want to apply, definitely check the vritti. If not in Sanskrit, at least in English, and we can make sure that the sutra applies to our case, and what exactly the vritti is saying. Okay, Bho Bhagavo Purvasya Yoshi. Okay. Roho Refasya. Only the Repa of Ru will take. We'll look at Siddhanta Kaumudi though it says. Etat Purvasya Ro yakaradesho bhavati. He says roho yadesho ashi. So the entire ru is going to become the actually if we take the kashika vritti, then really we should be doing the upadeshajana nasika it and see roho repasya yakaradesha bhavati. If you take Siddhanta Kaumudi view, it says etat purvasya means bho bhago apurvasya roho ya adesho ashi. But the way we have given in our document is that so he's taking the entire ru and making the yakara for that. You see that?
Yes.
It says etat purvasya ro yadesho ashi. So, but I think what we have given in our document is, I think, given the Kashika vritti, the vritti of Kashika, says that the, let me see, I have this, I think I gave the Kashika vritti, yoro, it was such a ro refasya. Okay, so we can leave it as it is, because if he's taking the Siddhanta Kaumudi vritti, then that will also work, because he says roho yadesho ashi.
In the English explanation, when the letter ru is preceded by, that is the explanation is written there in our documents. Just what
okay.
you posted.
In that case, then maybe I should change the document a little bit, right? Because here it says roho refasya. So, but the vritti, when I put in the English, I think I put this is Siddhanta Kaumudi vritti, right?
Yes.
So this vritti is correct. So that is why he has not done it, by the way, I think. Because my English translation, I think I used the Siddhanta Kaumudi vritti, and unfortunately while doing the vritti in Sanskritam, I put that as, so I'll change that. These are things which we need to clean up, you know. So this vritti is from Kashika. See, Kashika Siddhanta Kaumudi mostly will get the same vritti. Mostly it will be exactly the same. But sometimes there will be slight differences, you know. So this one says, Kashika says only roho repasya, only the ra of the ru. While Siddhanta Kaumudi says that the, roho yakara adesha bhavati, the entire ru will become the yakara adesha. Okay, so I'll change the vritti for this one. I'll take the Siddhanta Kaumudi vritti, so that will be fine. I'll make the change for next time. So let's go ahead. So let's see what he has next. I think he was looking at the English vritti, which is fine. Okay. So let's go to the next one. Okay, then comes the Dhritarashtra yuvacha bho bhagava purvasya yoshi. Dhritarashtra yuvacha lopas shakalyas. Everything okay?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the next line now. Anything we missed in between? Samavetaha, samavetas yutsavaha. Samaveta, again same thing, sasajushoruho. Bho bhagava purvasya yoshi. How about the next one? Do you agree with the next one? No, Kartik has a question.
Which one?
Hold on, okay. Kartik has a
question. Satuji?
Yes.
Like in the Bho Bhago Agho Apurvasya Yoshi Sutra, yes. Should we write it with the Eng of Padanta that the rule applied, the two R's, should we put Avagraha? Or is it okay if it is left as A?
Yes. Actually, what is the answer to that? Because see, we have the actually in this one, interestingly, if you look at the Siddhanta Kaumudi, see, because what is the Prajapadikam? Is it bho bhago agho? Is it bhos bhagos aghos, or is it bho bhago agho? Which one is it in the sutram itself? Remember, the Prajapadikam is actually bhos, bhagos, and aghos. If you take him like that, then it'll be the sandhi will be correct, right? Let's take bhagos plus aghos. What will you get?
Bhagos plus aghos, the
Sasajushoru will come.
Yeah, and then
this sutram itself will apply. This sutram itself will apply there. Bho bhago purvasya yoshi.
And then lopa shakalya.
Yeah, lopa shakalya. So that's the question is that in the samasa, what do we have? Do we have bhos, bhagos, aghos being compounded, or do we have bho, bhago, agho being compounded?
Okay.
That's what the now. Interesting thing is that if we take the point is that if we take this purvasya, right? If we take only with this apurvasya, as only the purvasya, or bho purvasya, bhago purvasya, agho purvasya, apurvasya. If you take it like that, you follow what I'm saying? If you take it bho purvasya, I'm sorry. If we take it like that, then I think this Bhattuji Dikshita say this sandhi is arshaha. This sandhi in sutram is arsha sandhi.
Okay.
So that's what, because if he takes purvasya connecting with all of them, then it should be bho purvasya, bhago purvasya, agho purvasya. Or if we take it on the second point of view is take it as bhos, bhagos, aghos,
Okay.
and then apurvasya.
Okay.
If you make it like that, then you can justify the sandhi on those lines like that. So,
Okay.
so that's a good question. That's a good. I think the way Siddhanta Kaumudi is taking sandhi is arsha sandhi.
Okay.
So he's taking it as bho purvasya, bhago purvasya, agho purvasya, and then he says like that. In fact, let's check it. Let me go to the Siddhanta Kaumudi while I have you. This bho bhago agho purvasya. So the question is a good one, because why did we not apply the Enga Padanta Tati is what Karthik is asking. Let's see, bho bhago purvasya. Looking at the Siddhanta Kaumudi, Sutra number 169 in the Kaumudi, 167 or 169, it is close to that. So 167 it says etat purvasya. So he is taking bho purvasya, bhago purvasya, agho purvasya, apurvasya. He also says asandhi sautraha. In this shlokaha, sautraha asandhi. So sandhi is not being done. That is only because sotratva sadhu, because it's part of the sutram. So clearly he's taking it that way in the Siddhanta Kaumudi. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's go ahead. Which one we were doing now? We were doing the. Okay. And how about this one, Prasanna? Did you agree with this one? The Samaveta Yutsavaha?
Yes, Satish, it looks okay for me.
This one you want to check that?
Samaveta Yutsavaha.
So what are the conditions here? We have the yakara followed by which is avarna purvaha, is padanta yakara, preceded by avarna, and we have followed by the ya. Now what is lopa shakalyasya required?
Lopa shakalya is required preceded by short a or long a.
Correct.
And followed by ash.
Ash, and you should have padanta yakara, right? So,
I'm sorry, not ash, followed by.
Yeah, ashi, correct.
Ashi, right?
Ashi. Well, let's go to lopa shakalyasya, and that should be padanta yakara or vakara, preceded by avarna, and then it should be followed by the ash letter.
Followed by, did not mention there, I think, Satishji.
Ashi, here it is, ashi parataha.
Ashi parataha?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So vakara yakarayoh padantayor avarna purvayor lopo bhavati shakalyasya acharyasya matena ashi parataha.
Okay.
But now, so this sutra will apply. But does anything else apply here? Anybody else in the class? Anything else apply here besides lopa shakalyasya?
Hali sarvesham?
Hali sarvesham. Very good. Because this is optional rule.
Right.
8390 is an optional rule, 8319 lopa shakalyasya. What we really need is hali sarvesham. Is hali sarvesham, because sarvesham acharyanam matena. So this is the, if you have the same conditions, which is the hali parataha, bho bhago apurvasya yakarasya padantasya lopo bhavati sarvesham acharana matena. So that's what we are getting. So this is a typo in this one. This should be hali sarvesham. Hali sarvesham. So this is what our job is, we have to correct these things now. Whatever we find is incorrect, we have to correct that. This should be hali sarvesham. It's put in the document maybe. So samaveta plus yussavaha, use hali sarvesham. We have to practice this one. Samaveta and yussavaha. Yut savaha. You have to use the hali sarvesham. 8322 and not 8319. Okay, so that hali sarvesham. let's go on. We do one more small one. How about the next one? Yutsavaha. Is that one okay to you, Prasanna?
Yes.
Sasajushoruhu upadeshana nasika it karavasanir visarjaniya. Looks okay, right?
Yeah.
Yutsavaha. Very good. Mamakaha pandavaschaiva. So mamaka plus ra sasajushoruhu upadeshana nasika it karavasanir visarjaniya. Then kappo kuppaucha. So you should have two forms here. So mamakaha and mamaka pandavaschaiva. You should really have the upadmaniya form and the visarga form. Then pandavas plus cha. Check that one for me. Pandavas plus cha. What do we have? Pandavar plus cha sasajushoruhu upadeshana nasika it karavasanir visarjaniya visarjaniyasya saha stoshchunashchahu. Looks okay, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Chaiva is vruddhirechi chaiva. And of course, vruddhiradaichi is the, you choose the closest substitute. Sthanindratamaha. Sthanindratamaha. Okay, let's see what we can do the next one. So we'll post this document, and if we can correct this and keep it ready for the next batch of students, it'll be I think it'll be very useful for many students to have this. As I mentioned, we have many books which do Padacheda and all that, but not which give sutram like that. So we can use this template. Let's see. Maybe I know it's out of time. We can just do one more shloka. Let's see if we can give Vasu a chance. Vasuji?
Yeah, can you hear me, sir?
We can hear you. Yes.
Okay.
Let's try this one. Sanjayas uvacha. Sanjaya ru uvacha sajushoruhu.
Sajushoruhu.
It's okay so far, right?
Sanjayai uvacha bo
bhavo purvasya yoshi. Sanjaya lopashakalyasya.
Lopashakalyasya.
Yes, that is correct.
Here the other rule need not be invoked, is it? Sanjay lopashakalyasya is enough, is it?
Because that's the vikalpe lopaha.
Okay.
But we have the lopa being done in the grantha itself. So only lopashakalyasya only we have to do, nothing else.
Okay. Vyudam duryodhana.
Yes.
Vyudam duryodhana. Monuswaraha.
Monuswaraha. That's all. Okay. Duryodhanas tada. Duryodhanar tada. Sasajushoruhu.
Yes. You don't use the vapadantasya.
Because we only trying to get to this form which is in the book, you see.
Okay.
So that's what our job is, to get to this form in the book.
Okay.
So because there might be optional forms, since they're not being used, we don't need to worry about those.
Okay. Yep. Duryodhanas tada, Duryodhanar tada, Sajasushoru.
Upadeshana nasika it.
Upadeshana nasika it. Duryodhanas tada, Karayavasanayo. Visarjaniyaha. Duryodhanas tada, Visarjaniyasya.
Yes, saha. Visarjaniyasya saha. So that because that is Kari Parata, Visarjaniyasya saha.
Yeah.
Next one is a typo in it. What is that?
Abravit.
Should be Abravit. This ta should not be there. Abravit. This one should be gone.
Okay.
This one should be
gone. Abravit.
Abravit. Jalam Jashwante.
Jalam Jashwante.
And then Abravit Vavasana.
Vavasane.
I'm sorry. Vavasane. Vavasane. I think we missed one, didn't we? This Pandavanikam, I think he missed. The Pandavanikam plus Vyudham, right? That one we missed.
Yeah.
So that's been missed. The Pandavanikam has been missed out of there. Same rule there, the Monuswaraha. Anything else that we missed? So anyway, Pandavanikam was missed. So it's going to take a lot of work to clean this up, to make sure it is correct. So what we'll do, we'll post this document on the Google, and hopefully we can catch all the errors, and we can refine. Let's see if this works. Try to refine it and clear it up. We're not in any hurry. We can keep on doing it, and hopefully at some point we'll have it ready to, or maybe even publish it on the web so people can use this document to do all the sandhis. Let's do one more. Who wants to word for the next one? Last one. We have about 2 minutes left. Anybody? How about Nagaraj, Dixit, anybody? Let's see. Vasudha, yes.
Namaste, Satish ji.
Namaste. Okay, so Pashyaitam Pandu. Oh, the typo it should be Pandu, not Padu. Should be Pandu.
Padu. Pasyaitam monuswaraha.
Pashya. So Pashya. Oh, there's also a typo. The Pashya Etam is so Pashyaitam Pandu Putranam Acharya Mahatin Chamum Vyudhan Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. So it should be Pandu Putranam.
Pandu.
Pashya plus Etam is correct.
Vruddhirechi.
And Vruddhi Radhich.
Okay, he is defining Vruddhi. Then monuswaraha.
And you can also do that, if you want to do that, you can also put the other one, which is the Sthanyantra Tamaha. Of course, that is not in our documents. We'll leave it, that's fine. We'll leave that one out. Sthanyantra Tamaha will give us the, closest substitute. But we have not put that in a document. It's Paribhasha rule. But, okay. I think he's only taken the one which is in our document, so that is fine. Then Etam Pandu Putranam.
Etam monuswaraha.
Monuswara, that is fine.
That's fine. And Mahatin Chamun monuswaraha, same thing.
Varaha.
And Vyudham Drupada Putrena. That Makara goes with Manuswara. Then Tavasishena Dhimata. Done.
This was really easy.
Very simple thing.
Simple. That's good, but it's good. So little to repeat. Let's try maybe one more.
Okay.
Atra Shura Maheshwasa Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi Yudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharatha.
Atra Shuraha. Again Lopa Shakalyasya.
Sasisho Ruho Bobogo Purvasya Yoshi. This is what I mean. If you practice more and more, it becomes you. When you do this like 20-30 times, it will be very easy for you to remember that. So Karthik had a question. Let me just look at Karthik had a question. I know time is up. Yes, Karthik.
In the previous shloka, in the Pandu Putranam, the Nakara is missing. It's a typo.
Pandu is
Putranam.
Nakara is in Pandu. Yeah. The Pandu, the Nakara is missing in Pandu. So, correct. Thank you. So we will. Then the next one is. Okay, so you said, Shuraha Maheshwasa is correct. Same set of steps that we had before.
Same thing. Bhimarjuna Samaha Yuti. Same thing.
Maheshwasa, correct. Same thing. Satishoruho, Bobogo Purvasya Yoshi, Lopashak. And actually here he says Hali Sarvesham. Right? So I think we need to only remove, we should remove the Lopashakal.
One is enough. Lopashakal is not needed. Okay.
Not needed because that's the Vaikalpika Niyamaha. So only Hali Sarvesham. Hali Sarvesham. Yudhano Virat. Okay, now how about that? Yudhano Viratascha.
Yudhanaha, then.
Sasajushoru.
Okay. Yudhano.
Hashicha.
Na. Virat. Yudha. No. Hashicha. Okay.
Make the Ukara because it is.
Then it becomes Guna Sandhi Ad Guna. He is correct.
I think that one looks to be okay because he has done the Hashicha, which is the Ukara, and then the Ad Gunaha. Okay. So anyway, so you know what? Let us. And next two are easy. I think so Virat is just same thing, right? We had.
Then Ukara goes off, cleaning of the it. Virata.
Then Karavasana Yor Visajaniya. Visajaniyasya Saha Stoshchunashtuho. That looks okay. Drupadascha same rule. Drupad same. I think same steps, right?
Same steps.
And last one is Maharatha. Only Avasana is there, so Karavasana Visajaniya. So what we'll do, we'll post this document, and hopefully all of you can refine it, read it, and see if we can even do this much only all the Sandhi rules of the Gita properly without any mistakes. Then it'll be a good service that we can do. We can leave it for future generations to come. Okay, so that's the end of this class. A little bit late. So Ramu Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bhiyata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittalayasya Bhotame Bho Rama Mamudhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranamadattalyam Ramanama Varanane Shri Ramanama Varanana Onnamaiti. So any questions, I'll stay back.